4 or 5 years after the slapping incident. And if you hurt somebody, they'll leave you alone. I had a pretty guy that stepped to me. I almost left him out of the soccer, but I'm gonna squeeze you in, boy, wherever you at. Anyhow, this pretty boy, he stepped to me. We was long gone teenagers by then, but he stepped to me. And he was like, "Hey man, what's up? I'll let you buy something." And I was like, "What's happening?" He was like, "You remember that boy you slapped?" He said, "That's my cousin. I was going to the school across town, and he told me what you did to him, and I ain't never liked you." So I told that nigga, "What's happening? What's up? You got something on your mind? What's happening?" So he was like, I just need you to know that." So, weeks had passed, maybe a few months had passed. He was mean mugging me all the time. Anywhere I seen him at, he was trying to, intimidate me like that. But anyhow, we ran down on each other one day in the middle of the city. And, it was a little small crowd out or whatever. And just so happened we get into the scuffle. When we lock arms, we hit heads like two rams in the mountains. They grab us. But when they grab us, they don't grab him. They grab me. And when they grab me, they pin my hands behind my back. And when they pinned my hands behind my back, he hit me. He reached across somebody and he hit me right on the bridge of the nose. And if anybody know about that blow to the nose, it's going to tear you up. But, it teared me up, but these was the killer kind of tears. So, they let him go and let me go. And they say, "We ain't going to let y'all fight or whatever," but he had got that one punching in on me. So I said, "Okay, I'm going to fix you." I went home, looked in the mirror. I was safe on the bruises, no bruises or whatever, but I was just auditioning. My sister, them father had already brought me a piece of stick that he customized for me and duct taped it and told me, "Excuse me, if anybody put their hands on me, I should use it on them." I waited, auditioned on swinging. I went in the batting cage like Mickey Mantle, switch hitting to see which way I was going to get him. But anyhow, we stayed across the street from a game room, from the neighborhood game room. So all the traffic came by my house, by my apartment building, I should say, all the time. So we had a screen door, and I was just sitting in the screen door, behind the screen door, waiting on him. And voila, he emerged. When I saw him, I gave him about maybe 4 or 5 minutes to go in and get himself situated with a few games. And the game room had like a window, like a mirror reflected window. So they could see out, but I couldn't see in. And when I walked up to the door to look in to get my glimpse at him, he was right by the door and he didn't even see me. I opened the door, and my preacher friend, he probably gonna get on me about this, but I tore his ass up with that stick. I tore his ass up good too. And just so happened, those same guys that held me, I found out that day that they didn't like me because they bristled up at me for hitting him with the stick. But I tore his ass up. So I was battle tested in the school for gladiators. Some years had passed, and I had a reputation for always being a scrapper and being, just always being into something. But I ran into the only guy that I couldn't win against, and his name was Louis Francois, rest in peace. He was a Haitian, a little short Haitian, and he was tough as nails. I mean, me and him fought. We fought regularly, and I just could never get him. I'm talking about I could never get him. And, I hit him, he hit me. But if we locked up, by me being so skinny and frail and him being so short and muscular, I just couldn't get him. So I earned his respect because everywhere, we saw each other at, we fought. And he had brothers and I didn't, so I couldn't be scared. Every time I saw him, we fought. And I can get on here and honestly tell anybody that, these are so, what I'm talking about, these tales from my life are so accurate. They might even get me killed one day for rehashing these things or whatever. But anyway, rest in peace to Louis Francois. He was deported to Haiti, and I heard that he passed. He met his demise in Haiti. Another guy ran into, he was a real tough guy too. But I happened to flip that coin from the Francois, extravaganza, and win all these. I beat this guy with axe handles. I beat him with my fist, and he just kept coming. Anyhow, one day that changed my life forever, and I use that term a lot because all these incidents changed my life. I went to go to a game room close by where we lived in the hood. And when I was coming in the back door, I saw the guy that I'm talking about now, and I went up to punch him. And when I went up to punch him, he drew a gun and pointed it at me, and I ran. I called Fat Boy. Fat Boy always can vouch, and told him, hey, I need that gun. Fat Boy had a gun, a big old gun, a 357. It looked like one of them Western type joints or whatever. So I went to his Fat Boy house on 9th Street out there in Miss Juanita's house and got the gun. He gave me a pocket full of bullets, and I came back in the middle of the city and saw this guy in a crowded intersection of people walking by and moving and going about their business, and I fired at him. Broad daylight, I fired at him. Wow, I fired at him. He looked and returned fire, I guess, now just thinking about it. And from then I can remember he had something like a 22 or a 32 or something like that, because it was just making a little pop, pop sound. And I was taking cover by a guy named James Mays, a big hustler in our city, and I fired at him. I fired all the shots at him, and I came out into the open like to get him. And he was ducking and firing back at me, but he ended up going around the corner and standing on the steps telling me, man, please don't kill me. And on that day, when I retreated and went home, my mom was crying. She heard about what I was doing. She ain't want me in no trouble, whatever. And obviously I didn't trust the people or what that went by, because all these guys had brothers, and I was fighting for my life and getting in things all the time, and I had to go hard because I'm the eldest. I couldn't run to nobody. So when I came back through the streets after shooting at this guy, after reloading and shooting at him in broad daylight, they parted the Red Sea for me. And that day, my mojo in the hood just went up, because I knew then that maybe it might not be no more fighting for me. As bad as I wanted it to be that way, but maybe it might don't be no more fighting for me, because everybody seemed to be out to get me.